Welcome to the Eclectic Thrifter and Crafter, where we thrift and craft with purpose. Today I'm going to share with you how I achieved the look of realistic stonework simply using the craft paints I had on hand. Because these stone walls were made with papier mâché, the papier mâché is dry, and for any of the wet primer paints that I was using, it absorbed all of that paint. So once the surface was completely dry, I sealed the papier mâché walls with a clear matte acrylic spray. I then allowed it to dry for 24 hours before applying this final coat. The two colors I'm going to be using are burnt umber and unbleached titanium white. I'm going to be using a styrofoam plate as my palette. We're going to apply these paints with a nice fresh dry brush. You're going to mix the paints on your palette until you get just the tone that you want. This is going to mix a very light tan, almost a bone white color. Be confident and spread that paint very lightly across the surface, moving your brush from side to side. Not all of your brush strokes will be the same, so this is going to give depth to your color. In my previous videos, you have seen the priming I've used. I began with a black. Then I put a series of browns working from dark to light before I've put on my final coats of this bone white color. Though this is our final coat of paint, this is not our final step. There'll be one more step toward the end of the video. Many medieval edifices were painted white, so the color I'm adding today will reflect well-worn white stone, just a faded memory of the colors that once graced the manor. I stayed with the browns and the umbers with this project, but not all stone is the same, and you can add oranges, greens, and even blues to your stone to give it a little more personality. When adding the lighter colors to your stone, it may look plastic or fake in the beginning, but when you get to that final stage after you've put your coat of bone white over those colors and you get to the next step where we put the wash at the end, it's not going to look fake at all. It's going to look like actual stone. For the remainder of this video, you're going to notice that the wall with the chimney is always going to remain on my right hand side. And that is so that I can color match every wall that I'm going to paint from this point on. Originally, I was going to try for the Coupam Granite Green, but in the end, I really thought about it. Doing such a large project, I thought that green was not going to be the way to go, so I stuck with trying to get that aged stone manor look. Because it was my first time at such a project, it took me several layers to reach the colors that I was happy with. I will be able to accent the build with green flocking to simulate moss. Many areas of the walls will also be decorated with ivy. This has been quite a project. What you're looking at here is just before I've reached the stage where the doors were hung. I did make a few executive decisions as the holidays began approaching. This year you will see the house decorated on the outside for Christmas. I decided to hang the doors in an unfinished state. What we're going to do is after the first of the year, we're going to finish painting and decorating the doors with trim and draperies starting the first week of January. And each door I will show you the window installation as well as the trim installation at the same time. I have extra windows that I'm just going to tape onto the inside so that from the outside you could look in through the diamond paned windows and you'll get an idea of what they're going to be like. All of the rooms inside each door, they've already been primed. The floors are in and stained and waxed. Each outside room will be painted with a color that will complement the wallpaper in its adjacent room. Now we're going to begin our final step. We are going to create a black wash to go over the stonework. I'm going to begin by using this mason jar, and I'm going to start out with 1 1/3 cups of water. To the water, I'm going to introduce roughly a tablespoon of black craft paint. Next, we're going to add Finish Jet Dry. We're going to add approximately 2 teaspoons to the water. This is going to act on the water and create an agent to allow the water to spread evenly across the face of the stonework, just like how you put it in your dishwasher to cause the water to slide off of the glass. That's exactly what it's going to do with the black wash. Once it is dry, you can go ahead and go over it with another coat of this wash, just depending on how dark you want certain corners of your stone. I would recommend applying this wash with a spray bottle that has a fine mist setting. The first and final project at the first of the year is going to be completing the inglenook hearth. Next will be the kitchen stove, and then we'll be on to the smalls for the kitchen. I have made somewhat of a schedule out, and once the kitchen is complete, we're going to move on to completing all the stairways, including the spiral stairway in the library, and then we're going to move on to the exhibit room. There will be some small projects that will show up in between the completion of each room. I hope you've learned a little something and enjoyed this mini tutorial on how to make realistic stonework from craft paints. It won't be too long from now, and you're going to get a chance to see it all reassembled on the dining room table. Have a most wonderful week and great fun crafting. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please like and subscribe, and tapping the like button helps the YouTube algorithm share my channel. Please share my thrifting and crafting channel with your thrifting and crafting friends. I welcome your thoughts and ideas in the comments below. Check us out on Instagram and tap that notification button for upcoming announcements of thrifts and crafts. But most of all, have a lovely, lovely day.